another best practice that you can implement in your distribution center is something called appointment scheduling. So basically what this means is, when the truck drivers are arriving to your DC, right? Or when they're about to come to your DC, they call ahead. These transportation companies call ahead and say, hey, please give me an appointment, and I'm going to be there at this time, this date and this time. And booking the appointment makes it easy to make sure when the truck arrives, you have a dock door that's open, right? And you have people that are ready to receive the product, so the truck driver can come, drop off the shipment, and then leave. So from a transportation perspective, it's very efficient for them. And when you work with them, and when you have an appointment and not make them wait, then you're able to get better deals with the transportation provider, right? Especially if you are paying for the freight transportation. So I still remember, so it's so fresh in my mind, and this was as part of our MBA tour. We all went to China because one of the courses was that international residency, and we went to China and Korea, and we spent 3 days in Beijing, 3 days in Shanghai, and as part of the Shanghai tour, we also visited the port. And in the port, we actually visited a Maersk DC, and we are driving to the DC, and then on the way, we are seeing this long line of trucks. It's like at least a mile long. There are all these trucks, small trucks, waiting to drop off the shipment in the Maersk DC. And then we walked into the Maersk DC, and then we saw all this nice GOH boxes, GOH containers that were all being loaded in the container, the real container that travels in the ship. So it was very fascinating to see, obviously, right, China is evolving, and they don't have all the sophisticated systems and processes like how the US does. And they're getting there, they're getting better and better. But, because of this lack of this appointment scheduling process, these guys were literally, waiting for a mile. The trucks were parked one after another, and the truck drivers were either sitting there or sleeping in the truck. It's just a lot of time wasted for all these guys, because, they could have, obviously spent that time doing something else and making money. So these guys were literally waiting there, and there was, no proper appointment scheduling process. Had the appointment scheduling process been there, they wouldn't be waiting for that long. They would call ahead, book their appointments, they would show up at the right time, their appointed time, and then they would come drop off the shipment and then go. Right? That would make everything so much easier. So that's what I'm talking about. So when there is appointment scheduling process, especially in the food, because the volume they handle is so big, and I had another food customer that had this hectares of land, and the trailers and the containers were parked all over, and sometimes they wouldn't know how many containers, how many trailers are there sitting. And these were all some oils, some oils that were used for their food processing plant and so forth. So it was very fascinating to see their problem. And they said, hey, we want a really good appointment scheduling process, and we want to automate that with some kind of RFID and things like that. So, it is very fascinating to see all these different challenges that these guys deal with. So, appointment scheduling is something that you want to think about, especially, when you have a lot of trucks coming and, going, and if you see that, you're not getting better deals, good deals with all these transportation service providers because they are sitting there and waiting for a long time. That would definitely, calling ahead, and there'll be a guard check-in. That means, there'll be a guard that'll be there. He'll check in the truck. The truck will come in, and there'll be an appointment for the truck, and the truck will pull at the dock door at the right time when, based on the appointment, and then they would unload everything fast, and then, finish their unloading, and then basically turn around and go out. There'll be a guard checkout, and then they'll be go out, and then you can see, right, between the vendor that you're buying from and whoever is paying for the freight, between the transportation company and between the driver itself, right? Sometimes the driver run into some weird issues. They have a breakdown, or they have, weather situation, or they have traffic situation, right? All that comes in the way. So, having all this guard check-in, guard check-out, appointment scheduling, all that also helps you have records as to, hey, this is the time the truck showed up. This is the time the truck left. You have systemically tracking information that you can, share it with people if there is any issue later down the line. All that is nicely systematically, tracked. So that's something to think about if you have any issues, with your transportation service providers, or, delaying shipments, or if you find that there is a lot of time being wasted people sitting there, truck drivers sitting there and things like that. So, and again, that's another benefit that comes with the shipment ASN. If the shipment ASN is available, then you can book appointments against that shipment ASN. Please would love to hear your thoughts, and please share your comments, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video.